is the Fox 5 News Block.
This was a dark and excruciating night in our nation's capital and in our nation's history, and a tragedy of terrible proportions.
President Trump speaking to the nation after last night's fatal mid-air collision in the skies over Washington, D.C. And could congestion pricing be going on the chopping block? The Trump administration reportedly considering a move that would slam the brake on this toll. Good afternoon, I'm Bianca Peters. Welcome to the News Block. Let's take a live look outside right now. Sun shining here, but Audrey, we already know the deal. It still is cold out there.
It sure is, Bianca. We had a much milder day across the tri-state area yesterday, but today it is much cooler. Right now we have readings in the 30s across many locations, including New York City, checking in at 35 degrees. We're at 32 in White Plains, same number up towards Poughkeepsie. We're at 34 in Sussex and 37 down the shore in Belmar. Now let's talk about the temperature change. We're running about 10, almost 20 degrees colder than we were at this time yesterday. And of course, the wind has been a bit of a factor. Not quite as blustery as it was yesterday, but still adding to the chill across the region. The sustained winds are between 10 and 15 miles per hour, but it's making it feel like the 20s in many spots, including Islip, Bridgeport, and even out towards East Hampton. Feeling like 31 in Newark and 32 down the shore in Belmar. Now, looking at the radar, not much is happening here. We are seeing bright blue skies, a couple of thin clouds here and there, but we are watching for a system that will be approaching us from the southwest. So tonight, we're expecting increasing clouds ahead of this rainmaker that is producing some significant rainfall in the Tennessee Valley. This will be pushing northeastward right into the tri-state area. I'll time it out for you coming up. Bianca?
All right, Audrey, thanks so much. And now to that breaking news in Washington, D.C. President Trump addressing the nation after last night's deadly mid-air collision between a military helicopter and an American Airlines jet. So today we're learning more about some of the victims as crews continue to search for more bodies. Fox 5's Stephanie Bertini is in the newsroom now with the very latest on all of this. Hi, Stephanie.
Hey, Bianca. The NTSB chairwoman is speaking out right now. She's calling this an all-hands-on-deck situation and says that no stone will remain unturned in the investigation. Meanwhile, what led to the crash is unknown right now, but 67 people are dead, according to officials. New video from the Capitol building shows a different angle of the crash. The Army chopper flying into the American Airlines jet during its final approach into Reagan Washington National Airport last night. On the ground, the work has shifted from a rescue operation to a recovery operation. Nobody is believed to have survived after the two aircrafts collided over the Potomac River. The helicopter was on a training flight from Virginia, and the plane coming from Kansas. The crash happened near Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. As we've said, officials say the conditions were clear. Both aircrafts were in a standard flight pattern, and there was no interruption in communication between the aircrafts and tower leading up to this crash.
As one nation, we grieve for every precious soul that has been taken from us so suddenly, and we are a country of we are in mourning. This is really shaken a lot of people, including people, very sadly, from other nations who were on the flight.
You're looking at video now of last night's crash. Over 300 emergency personnel responded. The president also commented today on how heartbreaking this must be for the families of the victims. Among the victims on the American Airlines flight, professional figure skaters, as confirmed by U.S. Figure Skating, that's the governing body for the sport. In addition to the skaters, some of their family members and coaches were on that flight after attending a development camp that followed the national championship that ended Sunday in Wichita, Kansas. We know some of those killed were coaches that had been based at the Skating Club of Boston since 2017. That American Airlines jet had 60 passengers and 4 crew members. There were 3 soldiers aboard the helicopter, Bianca, so it's believed the death toll is at 67. Back to you.
Still very, very heartbreaking there. All right, Stephanie, thank you for that. And for the very latest on this mid-air collision, you can stay up to date on the Fox Local app right on your phone. You'll be able to watch all of our live newscasts and breaking news from anywhere that you are. Just scan the QR code on your screen to download it now. Meanwhile, a horrific scene played out in Jersey City this morning. A woman and 2 children found stabbed to death in a basement apartment. The suspect is now in custody, but Fox 5's Haley Fixler has the very latest.
Officials say 2 children, a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old, and a woman were killed after this morning's stabbing. Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop posted on social media saying that this was a case of domestic violence. Here's what we know. Philip posted on X that a man allegedly stabbed the 2 kids and the woman and then tried to stab himself. We're told that the man is in custody right now. Now, I want to bring your attention to this apartment building with this white sheet covering on the window. This is where police have been focusing their efforts and their investigation. Below it, there is a lot of broken glass. Investigators have been out on the scene since about 1 o'clock this morning. And throughout the morning, we did see several people come by the crime scene extremely emotional and overcome with tears. And that feeling has been rippling throughout the neighborhood. Neighbors woke up this morning to police activity in shock. They tell me they cannot believe that something like this happened here.
I saw them husband and wife together or girlfriend. I don't know if it was his wife or not. But I see them every day here.
Did you see them yelling?
Going in and out. Well, they do all the time.
And did you see the kids playing?
Yeah, I do see them all summer they play.
Those kids, no. God rest their souls. They don't deserve this.
Now, we've seen chaplains and social workers go door to door in this neighborhood, helping people get through this tragic event. We do know that the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office is now handling this investigation. In Jersey City, Haley Fixler, Fox 5 News.
All right, Haley, thanks so much. Could congestion pricing soon be going away? That's a question. The Trump administration says it's considering putting an end to the controversial toll by withdrawing a key federal authorization giving to the Biden administration that green-lighted this plan. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has reportedly talked with the president twice this week. A source familiar with the discussions tell Fox 5 the president says he's not taking any immediate action on congestion pricing, but plans to talk to her again next week. Experts say if Trump were to cancel that toll, it would likely spark a fierce legal battle. And Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch delivering her first State of the NYPD address this morning. Tisch highlighting that crime in the city is dropping across all categories, including violent crimes. But she also says New Yorkers still do not feel safe, especially on the subway. And that's why she is reassigning desk duty officers to overnight trains. Tisch also says the NYPD is suffering greatly from the defund the police movement.
In the not so distant past, NYPD applicants used to wait for years to get the call to join the academy. Now, we are practically begging people to take the exam. So what happened? First and foremost, we're still seeing the real impact of the defund and anti-police movements. A lot of the rhetoric aimed at our police is vile, and the pendulum has swung too far away from what I consider to be the most important and noble job anyone could take on.
Well, Tisch also announced the creation of the Quality of Life Division, which will be responsible for training officers on how to de-escalate situations involving mental health issues. Meanwhile, Governor Hochul is calling for all New York schools to ban cell phones in the classrooms. She says that the state would allocate $13.5 million just to make this happen. The state health commissioner was on Good Day New York this morning and weighed in on how that money would be spent.
And quite frankly, I think it's really just to look at like what kind of storage system do you need? Do you need to buy some kind of big bag for each classroom? If you do, you do, right? If you want to buy little lockers, you can do that too. And that gives the schools the freedom to customize their solution for their school and their classrooms. Gives teachers some autonomy as well to decide what they want to do.
The plan still needs to be approved by state legislators, and then it could take effect next school year. Well, if you do ride the PATH train to or from Hoboken, you'll need to find another route for nearly a month. The Hoboken station is closing for track and station upgrades starting tonight at midnight until February 24th. Commuters can take NJ Transit bus service, the ferry at discounted rates, or a shuttle that will transport them from the Hoboken station to a Jersey City PATH station. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill, 3 of Donald Trump's cabinet picks are in the hot seat for their confirmation hearings. RFK Jr. is facing his second day of questioning for his Health and Human Services Secretary nomination with today's appearance before the Health Committee. Tulsi Gabbard is being grilled by lawmakers as Trump's pick for National Director of Intelligence, and Kash Patel sitting for his hearing for FBI Director. And in the Middle East, 8 more hostages are free today as part of the ceasefire deal in the Israel-Hamas war, but their release became a chaotic scene, which prompted Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to initially hold off on releasing Palestinian prisoners. Fox's Trey Yanks has the latest.
Relieved family members welcomed home 3 more Israeli hostages after more than 15 months in captivity in Gaza. 5 hostages from Thailand were also released. The hostages coming back to a hero's welcome here in Israel, with friends and supporters lining the streets. It was a stark contrast to this scene. Hundreds of angry Hamas supporters pushing and shoving the masked gunmen that handed over the Israeli hostages to the Red Cross. The chaos prompted Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to pause the release of Palestinian prisoners being exchanged for the hostages until Hamas guaranteed the safety of future exchanges.
We are an army that takes great pride in implementing the decision to bring the hostages home, and we will be just as proud to return to fight.
Fortunately, the dispute was resolved by mediators and the prisoner release rescheduled. The hostages now recovering at hospitals in Israel with friends and family by their sides.
We have a long way to go. The rehabilitation status is just started.
And while the ceasefire is holding for now, it's not clear what the future holds for Gaza. Both Egypt and Jordan rejecting a proposal from President Trump to, quote, clear out the Gaza Strip.
The solution to this crisis is not to remove the Palestinian people from their place. No, it is the establishment of the two-state solution.
President Trump's Mideast envoy Steve Witkoff is in Israel this week to try and help move negotiations forward. In Tel Aviv, Trey Yingst, Fox 5 News.
Meanwhile, an Upper East Side street getting a brand new name this morning. East 67th Street between Lexington and 3rd Avenue is renamed Yad Vashem Way, the home of the historic synagogue. City officials joined the synagogue's 94-year-old rabbi and Holocaust survivor at that ceremony. The renaming happening just days after International Holocaust Remembrance Day, which commemorated the 80th anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz concentration camp. All right, let's take a live look outside right now. Again, we're seeing the sun, but Audrey Puente, it's feeling a little bit different once you step outside.
Yeah, it feels really cold out there, Bianca, compared to yesterday for sure. We're running about 20 degrees cooler at this hour. We do have clear skies, but tonight we'll have increasing clouds coming in here. After about midnight, the clouds will start to invade our skies, and they're coming in advance of a system that will bring moisture into the region here. We're going to see it start off with a little bit of an icy mix north and west of the city in the pre-dawn hours tomorrow, but as the morning commute progresses, we're going to see widespread rain across the area, and it's going to be a soaker for your Friday, so be sure and have your umbrella handy as you move through tomorrow. Then it turns drier for the weekend, but cooler with temperatures back into the upper 30s. Bianca?
All right, Audrey, thanks so much. Well, that's your news block for now. I'm Bianca Peters. Thanks for joining us. Tune in to the 5 o'clock news on Fox 5 and right here on Fox Local for all the day's news as it develops. We'll see you back here tomorrow.